Hello everyone, welcome back to algebra class. Today we are going to be distributing and combining like terms to simplify expressions. Okay, the difference is that today we're going to be doing both things in the same problem. So when we come across that kind of situation, the first step is to distribute the number in front of the parentheses first. Okay, so distribute the number in front of parentheses first. It's really important that you do this before any other step. Only give the outside the outside number to the terms inside the parentheses. So what this means is that if you have terms outside of the parentheses, you are not going to distribute to that. And you will see what I mean when we do this first example. And then after we distribute, step 2 is to combine like terms, and it's the same steps as before. So let's look at this first example here. It says 3 parentheses 2x minus 8, close parentheses, plus 3x plus 6. So what I'm going to distribute in this problem is the 3. And I'm only going to give this number to the terms inside the parentheses. So I'm only going to multiply it to 2x and to the negative 8. I am not going to do this because the 3x and the 6 are not in the parentheses. So I don't distribute there. That is incorrect. Okay? So 3 times 2x gives me 6x. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And so then now you're probably wondering, well, what happens with this? Well, that just comes down. I just bring it down. Plus 3x plus 6. So I did step 1. Now I need to do step 2. Step 2 says that I need to combine like terms. So I'm going to circle my first term, which is 6x, and I can combine that with this plus 3x. So 6x plus 3x gives me 9x. My next term is this negative 24. That is a constant. My other constant is this plus 6. So negative 24 plus 6 gives me negative 18. So my final expression is 9x minus 18. Let's look at this next example. Okay. This time, be very careful. The term that I'm going to distribute is always the one in front of parentheses. So there is a 10 in front of the parentheses, but I have to include the sign in front of the 10. So I'm going to distribute negative 10. Now, if you see the x inside the parentheses does not have a number in front, there's no coefficient, so I'm going to put 1. So I put a number 1. Now I have a coefficient. I can distribute. So negative 10 times 1x gives me negative 10x. Negative 10 times 4 gives me negative 40. And we're going to do the exact same thing as we did in the first problem. This negative 3x is going to come down, and this plus 2 is also going to come down. My next step is to combine like terms. My first term is a negative 3x. I can combine it with any other term that has an x. In this case, I'm going to do negative 3x minus 10x, which gives me negative 13x. And then my last terms are my constants. So negative 40, I can combine with plus 2, and that gives me negative 38. So my simplified expression is negative 13x minus 38. Now in this last problem, you'll notice that there are no numbers in front of the parentheses. There's nothing for me to distribute. Well, if you remember from the last lesson, what we can put there are invisible ones. Okay? So I'm going to distribute 1. But if you think about it, when I multiply anything by a positive 1, nothing changes. If one of those was a negative 1, it would change. But because it's a positive 1, nothing's going to change. 1 times 4x is still 4x. 1 times 3 is still 3. Nothing changed. Again, if it's negative 1, it will change. But because it's a positive 1, it's not going to change. So I'm not going to distribute in the second part because I know nothing's going to change if I distribute this positive 1. So I'm just going to bring down plus 2x minus 8. Now, if you think that you need to actually distribute each time, just in case because you're not sure, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with you distributing just to be on the safe side. Okay, so next I'm going to combine like terms. First step was to distribute. Second step is to combine like terms. So I can combine 4x with my other term that has x, which is plus 2x. 4x plus 2x gives me 6x. And then my last step is to combine my constants. I have a plus 3 and I have a minus 8. So 3 minus 8 gives me negative 5. So my simplified final expression is 6x minus 5. So it's pretty simple. It's just like the last lesson, but we're combining both concepts. So first distribute, then combine like terms.